Good evening. My name is Jake Burdett, and I'm testifying tonight as the co-chair of Our Revolution, Howard County, specifically on Chapter 6 of the General Plan, titled Dynamic Neighborhoods, Maintaining and Supporting Vibrant Living. HoCo by design defines dynamic neighborhoods as, quote, places that provide an exceptional quality of life, attainable and diverse housing options, and opportunities for all to thrive through access and connection to neighborhood amenities such as community centers, parks, schools, and jobs. However, while the general plan may pay lip service to those other crucial community needs aside from just housing also being essential components of dynamic neighborhoods, it is clear that those other needs like schools, which are the main thing that brings people to Howard County in the first place, are not taking priority when it comes to evaluating what produces dynamic neighborhoods, as evidenced by their exclusion from this chapter altogether, and the recommendation that APO regulations ensuring quality public facilities and sustainable growth clawed back. If anything, current APO regulations are far too weak and need to be strengthened to solve our school overcrowding and other infrastructure-related crises, all of which absolutely go into making up dynamic neighborhoods. The Dynamic Neighborhoods chapter makes note of the community desire to make housing more affordable in Howard County. However, the county seems to be approaching affordable housing in completely the wrong manner. First off, the county is relying on the false assumption that higher density housing necessarily means it will be more affordable. In reality, when not accompanied by any other measures that mandate affordability, this is often not the case, and higher density just means developers can now build for high-priced units than before. Take, for example, the new Longgate Overlook townhomes, which are selling in the $600,000 to $700,000 ranges, which is significantly more expensive than many single-family homes, including the one that I live in. Again, the idea that higher density automatically equates to more affordability is a misleading myth put out by the developer lobby to justify zoning deregulation that will increase their profits. Another misleading myth that the general plan currently is relying on to try to make housing more affordable is that diversification of housing options will necessarily equate to more affordability. Similar to the example used earlier about townhouses and Longgate Overlook, the same principle can apply for other housing types too, such as condos, which can likewise sometimes be priced more expensive than single-family homes are. Chapter 6 of the general plan consistently harps on the need to add more missing middle housing to the county, but the general plan is also sure to clarify that, quote, missing middle is referring to the size of the housing, not the price of the housing. But again, higher density or smaller housing or increased supply does not necessarily equate to more affordable housing, as there is nothing stopping developers from still charging high rates for the smaller or denser housing units. If the county is truly serious about wanting to increase affordable housing, it should eliminate the fee in lieu option, which allows developers to evade affordable housing requirements by paying a small fee that is a tiny fraction of the price of actually building the affordable housing units. Instead, the general plan defends this obvious loophole abused to increase developer profits at the expense of affordable housing units. Chapter 6 of the general plan makes another dangerous and untrue assumption, that rental units are necessarily more affordable to low-income people than non-rental units are. Although people of low income may have greater access to renting because it may not require a large down payment or mortgage, without proper protections for renters, the monthly price to rent can sometimes be just as much, if not more, as the price per month that non-renters may have to pay for their housing. On top of this, there's nothing stopping landlords from increasing rents by drastic amounts and doing other predatory landlord/management practices. Indeed, in some units in Howard County, people's rents are going up at least 20% in a single year. Without some form of rent control or rent stabilization, similar to the 3% annual increase cap which just passed in Prince George's County, increasing rental units will likely lead to vulnerable renters being exploited and rent gouged by unregulated and profit-driven landlords, which more and more often these days are heartless and notoriously cruel real estate management companies such as Bozzuto and Blackstone. The same issue also applies to accessory dwelling units or ADUs. Please consider this input when making final changes to HoCo by design. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Praveen Panur.